Hey everyone, it's Dinah, and we are back with more of Heartstopper, this time on to episode 7, the penultimate of this first flabbergasting, fabulous season. And yeah, I think last episode we had some interesting little things going on, some bit of drama, bit of emotion, bit of, some romance and everything, just the usual. We had Nick and his very, very, very potential bisexual awakening, starting off beautifully and eloquently and artistically, with him watching. I actually can't. I can't remember. I can't even. I think I'm assuming it was the first one because I can't imagine like it would be the second one or the third one because they looked fairly young in it. So I'm assuming it was actually the first one they put on. But Nick, movie night for Nick and his mum. So they decided to watch Pirates of the Caribbean together, and of course, as one would almost anticipate, Nick found his eyes kind of drifting and swapping between Orlando and Kira, respectively. I mean, who can blame him? Who can blame him? Who can honestly blame him? So then that kind of got him thinking, and then he started thinking, okay, so maybe I'm not like exactly gay, but then maybe I'm not exactly straight either. So maybe he's bi, which is cool, which is totally cool. So that's cool. So in the rest of the episode was spent with him spending time with the other kind of gays in the story, which was most notably Tara and Darcy, and actually actually kind of finally not only being able to get his feelings out, but also getting his actual questioning feelings out and being like, okay, so like not only is he questioning, but he's also questioning like maybe he's actually bi, maybe he actually is into a bit of both or one or more or something. So yeah, so it was a fun episode in that sense. And I think thinking a bit more about it too, I think it's kind of it's very definitely kind of interesting. I think because I think maybe in little ways that I feel like they have kind of sprinkled in little tidbits about it leading up to. Because I think they haven't I think they haven't really specified anything for him up until now either. So I think like by doing that, by like actually being like, okay, so whatever it is, he's not straight, but not like actually kind of teasing, oh, is he gay or is he not? But instead of that, it's actually been teasing, okay, so he's not straight, so then whatever he is, we will find out in time. So I think actually leading up to that, kind of then being like a nice kind of bisexuality opening towards the end of the season has been really kind of in my eyes it's been pretty nicely done, so seeing that has been really cool. So he's kind of been kind of going down that path, and now I think maybe in this episode and potentially the next one too we'll find him kind of coming to that kind of nice kind of steely conclusion and then actually figuring out where to go from there. And of course we now have season 2 and a season 3 on the way, so we'll get to see even more of that goodness coming up in the future as well. So that'll be fun. That will be fun. But we had Nick and Charlie, and then we had some Tara and Darcy too. Tara and Darcy were kind of going through it too. I think with Tara having just made their relationship public online as well, so that way pretty much everyone knew because everyone was online, especially the youth at high school with their phones and their Instagrams and everything. Everyone was going to find out, but then not everyone was reacting positively. There were some toxic comments online, and then even some toxic comments from other girls within the school too, actually treating her differently and being degrading and all that kind of shit. So kind of wasn't exactly the kind of positive reaction she'd actually hoped for. So that kind of like forced her back into into like a corner, and actually kind of left her kind of wishing that things were different and hoping that things were changing and everything, and even at least even partially making her kind of having regretted coming out, but then not enough for her to actually kind of think about it in that way, but still actually kind of like just wishing that things were different. So then there was that, and then I think her and Darcy had like a second time being locked in their little musical makeout room and everything. But this time they did eventually make out, but then this time they actually I think they actually did manage to get to talking and actually talk about their feelings and talk about what was going on and how all this stuff was affecting them and how it was affecting Tara and everything. So that was nice. Yeah, I think seeing a bit more. I think seeing a bit more of Tara and Darcy as the series has gone on has been nice too. Because I think that way it's like it's like not just about there being. It's like a combination of there being a little bit of something for everyone, but also like an actual kind of combination of like different types of love and different types of relationships and different types of connections and different characters actually kind of coexisting within this kind of story, really making it like an all-encompassing kind of queer love story too, and actually not just kind of hyper focusing on Nick and Charlie all the time. And it's been nice, but then again definitely leaves you wanting more for like the future seasons and everything. So very curious to know where it might all go from here. So We had them. We also had a tiny bit of Tao and Elle. I think Elle confessed to having like a bit of a crush on Tao and everything, but not like, I think either not strong enough, or think maybe like a crush on Tao that was being combated by her own fears of actually ruining their friendship. And everything, by actively kind of pursuing her own things. So I think she was actively afraid of actually kind of potentially ruining their friendship if she did try and pursue this crush on him and actually change everything between them and everything. So she kind of, told them in confidence that she had a crush, but then, both Nick and Charlie and Tara and Darcy kind of took it upon themselves to actually kind of conduct a triple date at the milkshake stand and have them kind of hanging out together and everything. So yeah, but I think from what we saw in the episode too, I think there's literally, I think Tao seems for the most part oblivious, but I think it can also, I think it can also very easily be because of the fact that, like, he has kind of been hyper focused himself on actually maintaining friendship the entire time. Like this entire season, he's been so worried about losing Elle to the Higgs girls and to any kind of social connections she's made there. He's been afraid of losing Charlie to Nick. He's been afraid of losing Isaac to his books and everything. Like, he's been afraid of actually losing his friends and actually losing those connections he's made, and having to move on and having to drift apart and everything. So I think he's right now. I think I think obliviousness might be a factor there, but I think it's also the fact that, like, he himself might not be looking for a relationship in that point either. I think he himself also might genuinely just want to actually maintain the one last kind of solid standing friendship that he feels like he has left. So I think because I think maybe like a part of Elle actually sees that herself as well. So yeah, it's a bit dramatic, and a bit kind of like, I think I don't want to say unrequited, but I think it's all a bit kind of like still kind of one-sided in that way too. So I guess we'll see how things actually go. So yeah, we ended the episode with the concert and everything. So I don't know if they're going to pick up and actually show us the concert, if there's going to be the aftermath or whatever's happening, but yeah, I guess we'll find out. We can find out now, soon. Yes. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got from the last one. So on to episode number 7 of Heartstopper. Let's go.
How did you just appear out of nowhere?
Older sister magic.
She's the Scarlet Witch, confirmed.
Right.
Tori's the new Scarlet Witch.
Nick's invited me around to the cinema with his friends.
Oh, to the cinema. Wait, are you going to see Doctor Strange? No. Would Doctor Strange be out at this time? Would Marvel even exist in this? I don't know. Well, I mean, Avengers. Tao mentioned Avengers, so.
Me and Nick, we're kind of going out.
Called it.
He's not even up to his mum.
I know. You're hanging out with his mates now.
Yeah.
Wait, with his mates, like, including Harry?
Nice compared to Nick.
Including Harry? And the other guys that follow Harry?
Okay.
And yeah, you're hanging out with them, really? Is that the best idea?
We're not boyfriends. Why would you think we're boyfriends?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, like, that thing between you and Ben was never real. It was just whatever the hell it was. Yeah.
If any of those boys says anything, does anything nasty,
I'm surprised he agreed to this. Like, if Harry and the boys are gonna be there, then why would he want to be around them? Like, this just feels like a trap. This feels like a trap. It's a trap.
we'll be fine. Ben and Harry aren't coming.
Oh, thank the Lord. Oh,
nervous.
praise.
What do you think I'm just like...
Well, they're gonna show up as a surprise. Please don't tell me they're gonna be there as a surprise. Don't tell me they're gonna be there as some kind of a surprise, like a messed up, twisted surprise.
Look, Nick and his best...
Oh no, Ben and Harry actually. What? Why was this necessary? Why was this necessary? Bully. Oh god, I'm gonna hate this episode. I'm gonna hate this episode. I am gonna hate the shit out of this episode.
Do you prefer sweet or salted? Or we could get a mix of both.
Gonna need salt to deal with Harry's bullshit this evening.
Sure.
Char. Oh,
Are you
char.
okay? Wow, that just slipped out.
Say it again.
Char.
No.
They have to be watching Multiverse of Madness. It's totally plausible for these to be sounds from Multiverse of Madness. It's totally plausible. Have you seen Scarlet in that movie? She is terrifying in the best way. It's amazing you guys can still find time to be cute in the middle of a fucking horror movie. God.
quick question. What's it like being gay?
Ugh.
It's fine.
What sort of guys do you like then?
I don't know.
What about Harry Styles? He's pretty sexy.
I guess.
Just leave it.
What about Nick?
Nick's not even my type.
You definitely have a crush on him.
No.
You do. Stop. Wow. Take a joke, mate.
I'll see you at school.
Could have been such a good day. Could have been such a good day. Oh, and this. What does he want? What does he want?
Charlie,
What does he want?
I saw you holding hands with him in the cinema.
Congratulations, you have working eyesight.
Are you going out with him then?
Better him than you.
No.
But you are getting with him. As if anyone would ever want to go out with someone as desperate as you.
Oh, fuck you.
You were just there like some tragic loser with barely any friends who ate lunch alone every day and let bullies walk all over you. I never liked you. I'm not even gay. I just felt really sorry for you.
Charlie,
Oh, that's the dad.
ready to go?
Worst cinema trip ever. I really hope it wasn't my verse of madness now, because then that would have completely ruined it.
You can't just bring some gay boy into our group and expect us all to immediately love him.
So this is a problem with him being gay?
Come on, none of us are being homophobic.
That's exactly what you're doing.
He just saw the perfect opportunity to make someone feel miserable and humiliated, as usual.
I'm sure he can deal with it. You're getting so angry. You can't help wanting to protect him, can you? Because he's a pathetic little fag.
Oh.
So you're going to tell me what happened?
Oh God, how bad is it? How bad was it? Oh, just the nose? I guess not. That's not terrible. God fucking damn it. Oh, even Nelly can sense something's wrong. Oh. If that wasn't anxiety inducing, I really do not know what was.
Charlie's a really special friend, isn't he?
That's one way to put it.
You're right, mate. You want to fight too?
You clearly didn't get hugged much as a child, but if you're craving human affection that badly, you could just say so.
Yeah, maybe listen to your boyfriend. At least he knows his place.
I swear, next time a rugby ball comes flying, someone better lob it at Harry's face. That is just... At a certain point, enough is enough. At a certain point, enough is very much enough. Because knowing how school works, reporting isn't going to do shit. Reporting stuff will not do anything. Anything worthwhile.
I'm used to people saying stuff about me.
No, but you shouldn't have
You
to.
shouldn't be.
Like, people shouldn't be saying stuff about you in the first place. You shouldn't have to put up with anything like that. You're not allowed to say the S word.
The S word. That's what it is now, the S word.
I don't even want to be friends with those people anymore. I don't expect you to dump your friends for me.
They're toxic regardless. It's not just about you.
I stood there.
Complicit. Complicit or complacent? One of the two. I don't know. Oh, back to eating his lunch in Mr. Ajayi's room.
Fighting back.
Fighting?
Verbally fighting back.
Crushes them with words, remember?
Well, I can see that now.
He was in my maths class last year.
Did he ever say anything to you?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, sometimes.
Oh, Elf.
Surprise, he's transphobic as well.
You should have said something.
Pikachu, surprise Pikachu face right here. Surprise Pikachu face.
Maybe.
Is there something actually going on between Nick and Charlie?
You might as well tell him. He's the only one out of the loop. You might as well tell him.
There is, isn't there?
They're going out.
And they're happy, okay? They're happy, Tal. They're happy.
Who else knows?
Oh, okay, so he's mad about being left out of the loop. I was wondering.
Tara and Darcy.
So
But
everyone.
Charlie wants to tell you himself.
I should go. My mum's probably waiting.
Tal,
See you later.
wait!
Oh, Jesus, so many hearts. So many hearts. Wow. You could play like 4 and it would connect 4 with those hearts. Oh, Charlie. Charlie. Trust me, this bullshit with Harry is not worth breaking up over. Harry is a done and dusted type deal. You know? He's not worth living in your mind rent free.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
That's the most awkward I've seen a person come downstairs.
We all know me taking art GCSE.
It's fixable.
Shoot, it looks like a potato. Isaac's library duty. Oh, okay, that is so plausible. I would totally believe that. Don't bother, we're barely friends in. Oh God. Oh. Tao. Oof. That eye's healing up nicely, huh?
Right, mate.
Oh, for fuck! What is this guy's deal?
Did your girlfriend draw it?
Give it back now.
Come and get it. Wait, lads, look at it.
I hate you.
Oh, jeez, apple juice in the face.
Maybe it would be better if we just
Okay.
Apparently Harry Green's fighting some year 10 by the picnic tables.
Okay. Oh, it's still going on. Okay, okay? Is Tao at least standing his ground? Is Tao standing his ground at least? Oh, oh, Jesus. Oh, gosh. Oh, hitting him with the beanie. Hitting him with the beanie. The beanie ground pound. Oh God, I brought beer. Really? You want a round two with Nick? Really? Oh gosh.
Tao, this is all your fault. Just leave me alone.
Oh. Oh God, I said I was gonna hate the shit out of this episode, and I was right. I do hate it. Oh, don't end it. I called it, that I was gonna hate the shit out of this episode from the beginning, and would you look at that? I was right. So yeah, this episode was not fun. This episode was not fun. Not even an inkling, not even a droplet of fun featured in this episode. This was a heavy hitter. This was a hard hitter, and I feel like they definitely have to be building up to something like this too. Because I think it's like, you know, I think almost always with these kinds of stories too. With these kinds of stories, like, you know, I think I'm not gonna say I'm disappointed that they actually included this, because again, I think, you know, like it's at the very least like not focused around this series isn't focused around homophobia in any way. Like it actually does show its inclusion and show its involvement in the story, because of, like, you know, it's like a very realistic and very kind of like accurate kind of backlash to how the characters are living and who the characters are and how they're treated by the world every day and everything. So I think it's like a very realistic portrayal, like, you know, an unfortunately realistic portrayal, but yeah, I think I can't lie when I say that I kind of hoped it wouldn't actually go this far, because then, you know, I think it's like for me, I think I'd say it's nicer to see stories where queer people and queer stories can actually kind of thrive, and they can actually kind of like show up in environments where it's like, you know, you don't actively have to see that stuff, see that kind of stuff affecting the characters or anything. And I think people can very easily have differing views on that too. Some people can say like it actually does accurately reflect what the real life is, and you maybe some people can't fully actually connect or relate to the characters unless they see them going through that, because then it's like, you know, it's like what the vast majority of LGBTQ people have actually faced in their lifetimes, and especially more so after coming out too. So it's like a very real thing that people go through. So I think maybe to not include it in some people's eyes might be kind of perpetuating like a false hope or like a false reality, like, oh, these people are queer and everything, and they're thriving and they're happy and they're not facing any backlash. But then in the real world, that's just not the way it always goes down. You're gonna, you know, like you're gonna come across some people who literally are just the utmost bellends, and they don't want anyone to be happy. So yeah, but I think with this one, I think it's like it's like Harry has been in the story from pretty much since the beginning, and he's been shown off to, like, and they haven't really kind of softened the blow with him before. Like, even from the beginning, he's had that kind of presentation, he's had that portrayal of just being the guy who just pops up when you, well, not only when you least expect him to, but when you least want him to, when you actively desire against him popping up. He's just like Pennywise the clown, just popping up out of nowhere. So he does that, and then he, you know, boasts his usual kind of toxic shtick, and, you know, then he just disappears and everything. So Yeah, but this one he took the cake. This one he took the cake and he ate it. He took the cake and he ate it, and he gobbled it up in front of the audience and in front of Nick and Charlie and Tao and everyone. So yeah, and I think, yeah, disclaimer, needless to say, it goes without saying, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Hats off to the actor. I actually did read something. I actually did read on on Twitter the other day that the actor himself actually did kind of like after Heartstopper came, like a little while after Heartstopper came out, he actually did kind of hesitate to visit social media too much, and he actually did kind of consider kind of going off social media completely. He was actually afraid to come on and everything because he knew he knew what character he was playing, he knew what he had actually filmed for the show, he knew where the story was going and everything, so he was just so afraid of the backlash and everything. So that the actor, hats off to him. I mean, I have no idea if I feel like it would just be in some sense it would be like a really backwards thing, but then in like another thing it would be like a really good like a testament to his acting skill. Like if he was queer in real life, but then he actually is made to play like a bigger in the show and everything. I mean, again, it would show like a testament to his acting ability and everything to actually successfully pass off that kind of character, but then to actually actively play someone who, you know, contradicts if he is. I'm not saying he is, but if he is that in real life. But then even if he's not, then, you know, I think the absolute least we can hope for is him being an ally in real life. And I think I very much I think we can probably safely assume that can and should be the case. But yeah, I think the actor himself, again, it's like, you know, like the actors and characters, not at all the same kind of people. I think they have their own methods of acting that involve kind of some kind of form of self-projection or self-insertion in order to do certain things, but I think in this case it's hopefully not the case. I think, you know, props to the actor for being able to pull off this character so vividly and so eloquently and so just anxiety and anger inducingly, because I think again it's it's the fact that this is easily a very human, very grounded, very real kind of story that they're portraying. There's no element of fiction or like sci-fi or any of those kinds of genres. This is like the most human kind of, you know, grounded kind of thing you can get. It's the most real kind of, it's one of the most real stories out there you can get under this kind of genre and everything. It's just something that so many people can kind of relate to and easily kind of feel like. I think maybe even in like a few different senses actually be triggered by too. So I think for them to be able to pull it off like this, to pull it off so accurately and pull it off so kind of tensingly too, like the entire time, like from that, like the like as soon as we saw the Ben and Harry there, my heart rate was just, you know, like my heart could have freaking powered something. Like if heartbeats could power something, my heart could have definitely been used to literally light up this room or even power my freaking fan or something. Like if it was beating and pounding hard. Because then as soon as they showed up, I was like, okay, now I have no choice but to wait for something bad to happen. That is my only choice now. I just have to wait. I either have to wait for Charlie to try and make up some excuse to leave early or to leave as soon as the movie finishes, or I just have to wait for Harry to pull his usual BS and get involved and do all that kind of stuff and everything else. So yeah, pretty much everything I expected to go wrong did go wrong. So I think, you know, I expected almost everything to happen almost as badly as it did, and it was still just, you know, just yeah, so there's that. But worst cinema trip ever. I am almost glad now that I don't even know what the movie was. I mean, I think the sounds they played were pretty much like generic horror movie sounds too, so I think not in any way like, you know, Multiverse of Madness kind of promotion coming in, because they have Avengers in this, but I think, this is meant to be set in like 2020 to 2022 or something, I think into 2022 or 2021 or something, so it would be set whenever the books are set, and I'm pretty sure like the books came long before this, so, you know, probably years and years earlier or something. So I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. I'm really not sure if anyone's actually mentioned the year in this show as of yet. So, you know, in the 2010s or the 2020s possibly. So who knows? Honestly, who knows? But I think again, with it being based on the books and the books having already released like way back when, it must be at least a few years back. So. Yeah, but I mean, he mentioned Avengers. Avengers first came up, like, Tal mentioned the Avengers movie as well, so I think that came out in, like, 2012, but then it could be 2015, too. It could easily be 2015, you know, or 2018 or something, so who knows? Who honestly knows? But, But no, they just went to watch like probably some generic horror movie at the thing. I mean, they've got stuff like Donnie Darko, and I think I saw like a Whiplash poster in Tal's room too. So they got movies that we would recognize. I mean, God knows if they're cast the same or if they're even written the same, but they've got movies we would recognize and everything. So they had the same, near enough the same kind of franchises and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, but yeah, just a generic horror movie and stuff, and made like an outing made 10 times worse by the inclusion and the involvement of both Harry and Ben. So just, oh god, it's just yeah. But yeah, I mean, the entire friend group in that scene just had mob mentality thing. Well, I mean, maybe kind of mob mentality, but also just kind of like it being like a ringleader thing. Like Harry is like sees himself as the alpha and everything, and then everyone else just kind of follows, and everyone else decided to, and then no one else really gets involved until until Nick launches himself at Harry, and then as soon as that happens, it's all hands on deck trying to pull Nick off and protect Harry to protect their leader and everything. And it's like that kind of thing too. It's like they are completely complicit and complacent, and they are pretty subservient to Harry and his mentalities and his ideologies and his kind of mannerisms and everything. So they are just kind of, I think for them too, I think it could easily be like that kind of combination of they all go along with whatever he believes and whatever he says and whatever he does, but then it's like even if they do disagree even slightly, none of them really have the guts to actually stand up to him or stand up to the other, because then for all they know it could just be one of them against the rest of the group. So then with that kind of attitude, none of them really have the courage to stand or to do anything. But then of course but then it can also very easily be overpowered by the fact that they just feel like they have to kind of stand in line with what Harry believes, and it also might just coincidentally be exactly what they believe too. So then they actually kind of find that kind of common ground and common line of thinking with Harry. So yeah, and he's toxic, he's a bigot, he's a homophobe, a transphobe, as Elle, rather unfortunately confirmed for us too. He's just like a bigot on both sides of the coin. So he takes just nothing but pleasure in picking on people and preying on the innocent and everything. So we need vengeance up in it. We need Batman to come in and do something. It's probably that's probably too far. But no, I mean there was a fight. I mean, a fight. There was a bit of a fight. I mean, one punch was thrown, and then after that it was like a bit of a tussle against the wall and everything. So so yeah, Nick had very accurate. Nick lost more, very visibly lost more and more control towards the end too. I think that is exactly what Harry was banking on, and that's exactly what Harry was actively pointing out at the end too. Oh look, he's getting angry. He wants to protect his little boyfriend and do this, that, and the other. So he was actively kind of losing more and more control over the situation, over himself too. He actively wanted to kind of just knock Harry down a few hundred pegs and everything. So that happens. I think even that kind of thing, even the next day, even that kind of thing isn't enough to actually kind of back Harry down. With Harry, he sees it as he can fight back. He has no problem fighting back, but then he also has his boys around to back him up too. So he has that whole kind of thing to actually kind of uplift him to. He can literally step on them and then use them to lift him up, even metaphorically, especially metaphorically, but then even more so possibly literally too. But he's just the worst. He is just the worst, and probably also just the kind of the most accurate kind of embodiment of any kind of homophobic kind of and bigoted kids you kind of remember from high school or primary or whatever. Just those kinds of kids who are toxic and just actually feed toxicity into that kind of bigotry, and it's a lovely kind of mesh of all those different kind of behaviors and everything, and then nothing really ever gets done. Bullying in schools is just the most unresolved thing in the fucking world. Nothing ever happens, and you report it and nothing happens, but then if you actively defend against it, then finally something happens, but then something happens against you because you defended it. So it's just the most notorious thing and everything. So it's just it's a hard hitter, because again I think pretty much everything that happened, or pretty much everything that happened in this episode is something that almost everyone can really recognize and identify and actually kind of remember, and that just I think that kind of thing definitely makes it all the more harder to watch. But I think it's clear enough that they did not include it. They did not include it simply for shock value. They did not, and even Harry using the F slurs, or they to this day it's still a commonly used kind of slur and a word and everything, among a myriad of others. So I think I think, you know, like, the kind of most that I can definitely kind of understand is the fact that they didn't actively use it simply for shock value. They've been building up and actually showing just how bad Harry is in the beginning, so it's like it's almost then kind of keeps you waiting until Harry kind of is shown off at his absolute worst, and then even the characters can't handle it anymore and they fight back and try and teach him a bit of a lesson or two and stuff. So yeah, but no, just not the best. And then you had Harry, and then you had Ben too. Ben just, if things weren't bad enough with Harry, it was almost like you had Ben competing for the ultimate dipshit prize in this episode. If things weren't bad enough with Harry and his little posse, it's like Ben being there too. Like he, you know, finally, like he was like the cherry on top of that kind of toxicity kind of, you know, raffle thing you had going on in this episode. So he finally comes just waltzing out onto the car park too to finally give like a final piece of his mind for no good reason whatsoever. Like he's like in like he's just like he shows up and announces his opinion, even though literally no one fucking asked for it, and he's no better. He is no better than when we saw him last. He's no better. You know, he's like he claims he saw Nick and Charlie holding hands and maybe kissing or maybe touching or something, so he claims he saw them being affectionate with each other, and then that kind of leads him to be like, oh, so you guys, you know, like, no way, I can believe you guys aren't going out, but you're definitely like a thing, or you're definitely doing something together, aren't you? So then, yeah, but then even then, like, it's like, the reason he can't believe they're going out is because, you know, like his own, his own kind of, you know, degrading view of who he thinks Charlie is too. Like I think it's just like a reminder of exactly what he saw Charlie as the entire time they were, you know, meeting up to do their thing or whatever. Like, you know, it's just further proof that Ben, I think even as an individual, he's like he may well be very complicated, but I think in this episode he could like he I think in this episode in this episode he kind of indulged in his own toxicity, and he definitely kind of gave in to his own kind of emotional inhibitions too. Like I think in this one, I think it's clear enough maybe in this one, like he kind of maybe felt jealous too, because I think, you know, because like his thing for him, I imagine maybe he thought that for the most part it was all going well until Harry came along, and until Nick came along and everything, because then he was perfectly able to just kind of use Charlie for whatever experimentation he needed, but then to still treat him like crap in public and everything to keep up that facade of being the perfectly normal kind of straight boy and everything. But then Nick comes along and actually makes Charlie happy, and then Charlie's like, yeah, you know what, I've realised I deserve better than this, and you're really not all that, so have fun experimenting somewhere else and everything. So then he feels lost and alone and that kind of stuff, and even to this day, I think, you know, he and then he also gets pushed aside by Charlie at the party too. Like he kind of tries to talk to him, but then he gets pushed aside, and then in this one he kind of like he kept it bottled in probably until now, and then he finally decided to let loose and probably tell Charlie exactly what he thought of him. So again, I think you know, part of it can be absolutely kind of how he really feels, but then part of it can also be like his jealousy of, like, you know, him seeing Charlie actually being happy with someone else, because then he, you know, maybe in some twisted way he believes that he still deserves the right to, you know, do whatever he wants with Charlie, regardless of how he makes him feel. And then but then him also seeing Charlie happy with someone else too, like, and him seeing Charlie happy with Nick too, like, and seeing that, you know, oh, Nick might be, you know, down that lane too. Maybe he's gay, maybe he's bi, maybe he's just into Charlie in that way, and then, you know, like, he sees him doing that too, like another person he actually assumed was straight, but then now he's been surprised by that kind of reveal too. So yeah, a lot going on in Ben's life. I think with this episode, I think it just proved that he at this point, you know, like, I think what's clear is that he's clearly in like a bad place, and he needs to sort himself out as an individual, but then he's also like really no better than Harry if he's still kind of unloading all this kind of shit onto Charlie at the very end of the night, and just kind of, you know, like, if that's what he's leaving him, like, you know, like, because effectively Ben is the last person Charlie talked to that night, because then, you know, Nick comes out to actually to, like, you know, to try and apologise to him and try and make sure he's okay and to make sure he's feeling better and everything, and then he goes back in to try and deal with Harry, but then Ben comes out the last minute, he's the last person he talks to, and then actually hearing all of that too, and even his dad comes around the corner. I was hoping at least his dad would say something. I was hoping at least the dad, because then again, the dad was well within earshot. Like, you know, you see the windows rolled down. I think there's no reason for him to have the windows rolled up and then drive, and then have the windows rolled down again. You know, the dad was well within earshot, and he came in during that those last few sentences, so he definitely kind of like heard some sense of what was going on, and then clearly Ben was not talking in the most peaceful or in the happiest of tones. So yeah, I've really kind of like hoped and wished that his dad would have actually said something or done something, but I guess not. I guess he was just kind of here to agree, like under the agreement of the being the 10 p.m. home call. So yeah, so bad stuff on both ends. That's great. That's great. That's great. And yeah, then of course the fight too. The fight. I mean, I think the fight really isn't, I think, anything kind of worth talking about. It was like, it was. I mean, even visually speaking, before it cut away, such a short-lived fight and everything. And I think even the injuries they had weren't that lasting. Like a momentarily bloody nose and like a black eye for Nick, and then same like a bust lip for Harry. So I think the boys kind of separate them in time and everything. And then of course Nick's mum came by and everything. So I think again, not the biggest. I mean, not that it needed to be a big fight. I didn't need it to turn into freaking civil war or something. You know, it's like a perfectly regular, perfectly human, and for them being like teenagers too, who aren't necessarily actual fighters. Like it was like it was a perfectly plausible and perfectly believable fight. Like, you know, like three aggravational pushes three provocative pushes from Harry, and then one solid right hook from Nick to Harry as well. So yeah, just I don't know why I'm analyzing the fight. I don't know why. Just like, yeah, it happened. I mean that kind of thing we need to. I think I was kind of wondering like if it would actually turn into like a fully blown kind of like a rageful kind of thing from Nick. Because I think Nick is like he's not just a strong rugby lad, but he's not just a strong rugby lad, but he's a strong lad too. Like he is pretty actually well built. So I think I was kind of expecting like, you know, he would be able to take like a charge or take hits, but then he'd still be able to actually barge him into the one, actually kind of take hits and give them and everything. So yeah, because I think Harry genuinely does look skinnier than the rest of them. Like I think he's probably like taller and probably kind of like he's probably faster. He's probably faster, but then because like I think he seems like skinnier but faster. But then like so then he can actually kind of like he can probably react quicker. But then I feel like with Nick being built the way he is, I think he can actually take more and he can actually kind of like dish out more too. So I don't know, but again, they're not trained fighters in any capacity. They're just sports players, and even sports players aren't really like fighters in any capacity either. So I think they just kind of fought the way I think the way they were fighting too was very emotionally charged and very kind of random and stuff like that. So yeah, but they both got their own little battle scars and everything. So that was there. And then, of course, we had the fight between Tao and Harry too. I think I was expecting so much more from the Tao and Harry fight. I was expecting so much more. I think we technically did get more because that one was at the school, and then we actually had the whole kind of crowd around them and everything with Tao. But with Tao, I think again, like Tao has shown. I think even Tao, like in that scene with L2, Tao kind of actively showed it. Tao actively said, like, you know, he has no problem standing up for himself, so that's why he has no problem actually kind of verbally kind of fighting back. Like his verbal comebacks are, you know, just works of art on themselves. So then I was sort of expecting him to actually kind of bust out some punches and kicks and actually, you know, like actually kind of like surprise Harry and the audience and everything, and actually kind of like actually kind of push him to the ground and actually kind of like, you know, like get the high ground without being sliced in half and everything. So yeah, no, did I even use that reference? I can't tell. But no, I think, he took the picture back and then he actually just squirted the apple juice in his face too. So but then I think Harry then stopped right before he actually got, like he walked up to Tao in like a half and everything, but then he stopped right before he got to him. So I thought maybe he'd consider it, but then walk away. But no, it cuts away and then we cut back afterwards later on, and then they're still going, and then the apple juice is still involved and everything. So yeah, but no, I think I expected Tao to actually kind of like actually, you know, be able to, you know, stand his ground and deliver a lot more than Nick did. Because I think again, like I think with I think Tao is taller, but I think he's a lot more pissed off. He can get a lot more pissed off at Harry very easily too. So I feel like he would just have no problem actively kind of dishing out on Harry specifically if need be too. So I think, you know, he may not be a fighter himself. He may not be as well built himself either, but then I think he just actively has just like so much more incentive and so much more motive to just fully just go ballistic on Harry if need be. So I think we got like a little bit of that before the crowd came in, and then before had Nick came in to actually grab Harry off of Tao, and then of course then the teachers come in when there's a fight and the person's defending themselves. Then the teachers come in as per frickin' usual. So yeah, there were fights. And then yeah, we had Tao finally finding out too. He finally found out the truth, and he found out from Elwin in the park first. Like he then kind of put two and two together, but then he actually wanted the confirmation from El, and then like her kind of silence, and then very very kind of reluctant yes kind of confirm things for him, and then so then here's kind of like I think because then given how he's treated Nick in the past, I was genuinely kind of concerned that like he actually wouldn't approve of it to begin. Like I think his kind of stone cold face kind of like in the beginning like actually kind of gave off the like the impression of like, oh my god, I can't believe he's with him. Like I think like actually kind of like got me concerned for a second like that he actually wouldn't approve, but then I think maybe deep down somewhere that is also the case, but then. I think for the most part, though, I think it's like it's also him finding out that like up until now only the rest of the group knew, only Isaac and Tara and Darcy and Elle actually knew, and then he was the only one, out of the loop. So then that was what finally kicked in the bucket for him. And I think him being out of the loop too, that means that he's actually not as closely connected to the rest of them as he thought too. So then, because I think again like I think even. Though admittedly, like Elle did kind of let him know, like like Charlie wanted to be the one to tell you. He wanted you to find out eventually and everything, but no, I think just like saving it until now, actually leaving it until now too, like the fact that everyone else actually managed to find out, but then Tao was the only one out of the loop, and then kind of like even then like everyone else knowing wasn't enough motive. Like Charlie still wanted to wait until like another time to actually tell him too, just kind of didn't give him the utmost faith. So I think the entire season, like Tao's biggest concern, his biggest worry has been losing his friends, has been like actually straining those relationships, actually straining those connections, and everyone else kind of going off to do their own thing and everything, and like not even in like an independence kind of because I think he's fine for the most part with his friends being independent and leading their own lives, but I think it's actually like losing contact, losing touch, losing that connection with them because of how far apart they are now, and like them doing different things too is also worrying him. And again, him being a teenager, him being in high school, it's like and also like again them being kind of fairly close to graduating high school too in like an extra year. It's kind of perfectly reasonable for him to actually kind of have those fears too. So it doesn't help when your friend's dating someone and you're like literally like the last one in the group to know, but then your friends, but then that friend is still keeping it from you and someone wanting to tell you. But then again, in their, I think they didn't really mention it, but I think like the way I kind of see it too is that in their defense, like Tao never really treated Nick too kind of fairly to begin with. I think purely because of his association with Harry, but then also his kind of complacentness with Harry's behaviors too. Like just like the rest of the boys, I think he kind of saw Nick in like a much more negative light, and he actively talked against Charlie actually kind of even hanging out with Nick, let alone actually spending time with him in like a more affectionate kind of way. So he actively kind of campaigned against Charlie and Nick kind of spending time together, and actually being together and everything, and actually kind of like and even actually stood strongly against any kind of possibility that Nick could be anything other than straight. So yeah, I think that like admittedly can't have given them the biggest amount of faith in actually telling Tao and having it involved too. Because then I think then the biggest concern would be like him actually actively like rejecting him, being like because again, admittedly on the one hand, Tao is still his friend, and he actively at least still wants to be. So then I think in the name of friendship, he would still be like, okay, well I may not fully understand why you like him, but because then he even at the bowling alley that's exactly the way he went to. Like, I don't fully understand it, and I don't like you because you hang out with Harry and the boys, but then Charlie for some reason likes you, so I'm gonna, for the sake of his happiness, I'm gonna let those kind of differences slide, but then if anything does happen, then we'll be having a word. So then he already made that message clear, but then I think, I think it still doesn't give him still doesn't give Nick or Charlie the greatest confidence that like one of Charlie's friends actively does kind of feel so kind of hesitant and so reluctant to actually accept that something might be going on between Nick and Charlie. But again, you see it from both sides. You can definitely kind of see the kind of whys and the hows from both sides and see where the pain comes from. This episode is pain. This episode is nothing but pain. Just pain and angst and anxiety. Just a nice big ball of and everything. So hopefully the finale is good. Please don't even give me a bittersweet finale. Give me a sweet finale. Give me a finale that's feel good. Give me a finale that feels good. Give me a finale that's sweet and feels, even temporarily resolutionary. Is that even a word? Or temporarily resolute, because I think season 2 is on the way, so definitely they're probably going to end up leaving it with like open. To be fair, I think when they made it, they didn't know for sure if season 2 was going to happen, so but then I think that's never stopped them before. I think that's never stopped any kind of like any production teams on the Netflix before. Like I've actually kind of like making the season 1 with like an open end, but then Netflix cancels it before it can get season 2. So then you're just left never knowing what actually kind of comes up next or what happens to certain story arcs or characters. But now now, even if there are open ends, we can rest assured knowing that a season 2 is on the way with even more answers and probably even more drama and angst and comedy and romance and all that kind of good stuff. So, yeah, just give me a good finale. Just give me a good finale. Okay, I've been good. I've been good this entire season. Just give me a good finale. That's all I ask. So, yeah, and I'll be, I mean, I'll probably check out the first one. I'll probably check out the first volume that the first season is based off of after this, and then collect the rest of them in my own time. Because I'm still, I'm still kind of I'm still on the fence about actually kind of reading the rest of the volumes before the future seasons come out, because I think given it's an adaptation, I think it's still nice to kind of have that space open to be surprised and everything. So yeah, but yeah, no, that is pretty much that. So yeah. But yeah, I think this episode pretty much did focus on just that too. It focused on the cinema trip, it focused on Nick and Charlie, but then actually kind of focused a lot more Harry because of what the story was going to be, and a bit of Ben too, and then Tao, and like a little bit of Elle kind of thrown there. So just one girl. Oh, to Tori was there too. Tori, I can't believe. Oh, Tori. So two girls, Elle and Tori. Tori was in this too. Tori is just being the ever supportive sister, like her being like, yep, called it, you and Nick Nelson, called it, you two being lovey-dovey buddy boys and buddy bros and broskies and all that kind of jazz, and her being like, and it's her kind of being like, yeah, I'm the smart kind of supportive sister, so I called it from the beginning, so yeah, go have fun with your dorky little boyfriend and everything. So yeah, Tori is just the one person we all need in our lives. Tori and Isaac, because I like the two people that we need in our lives. The kind of the ace bookworm, and I don't know if Tori might be ace too. I mean, I don't know. I think she maybe gives off ace vibes. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I think we haven't even seen her at Higgs. I don't know where she goes. I think she's the younger sister, right? I'm pretty sure. I think, is she the younger or older sister? Because I can't tell. I can't remember if they actually mentioned her age. But I think either way, I think it probably should she should go to Higgs, right? I think we just haven't seen her at Higgs or at school at all. She's almost always in uniform. I think we've had plenty of appearance. I think we had one appearance of her in uniform. I think because she gets off the bus with Charlie. But then she clearly doesn't go to Truham. So then she obviously has to go to Higgs, but we've never seen her at Higgs. Even if she's in a lower year, even if she's in a different year, we've never seen her at Higgs. So I don't know. I don't know unless she goes to a different school, unless she goes to a third school in the same area that's mixed or something. So I don't know. But we really don't see enough Tori. We have not seen enough Tori. Tori and Isaac, more Tori and Isaac in season 2. That is the one thing, the two things I'm asking for here. More Tori and Isaac in season 2. So yes, please, I've been good this entire season. So yeah. But no, Tori found out too, and she, of course, she was just all Tori about it, all supportive and sassy and everything, which we love. So yeah, she's great, she's amazing, and I love her. So that was great. And then of course I think Nick's mum coming in at the end too. I think we didn't really get much of Nick's mum besides from her knowing about the fight and everything. So yeah, just not really much besides from that. Just a pretty focused episode on hatred and toxicity and bigotry and all that kind of shit. So yeah, not a fun episode this time, I'm afraid. Not really a fun episode. So yeah. And then I think just before I forget to mention, I think the stuff with Charlie as well. This stuff with Charlie, like him with Nick and Tao too, like him feeling like he's actually straining his friendship with Tao because he's spending more time with Nick now, and Tao's not really kind of able to spend time with anyone else. And then of course with Nick too, I think after all the stuff that's gone down, he feels like he has to break up with Nick too, because then he doesn't want to have to pull Nick in this, because then with him, and again, the even sadder part is like because he's been through this stuff so much at Truham, he feels like, it's like for him it's like a normal scene now, like he expects it, like he goes into school kind of expecting at least one person to make some kind of remark, and he would not be in the least bit surprised if that one person was Harry. So I don't think that Nick accurately and appropriately calling it out, that on the one not only should he not expect that, but it shouldn't be happening at all anyway. It should it shouldn't be something he expects. It should not be something he treats as normal, because it's not normal behaviour. So Nick accurately calling that out for what it is and stuff was good to see. But But then, of course, Charlie actively kind of like thinking that, you know, like maybe things would be better if they weren't together, if they didn't spend as much time together, if they weren't as involved as they were before and everything. Because then he feels like having met Nick, but then also actually allowing that kind of connection between them to flourish into something more is what's led to all this. And now even Nick is kind of facing like his own kind of version of repercussions. I mean, to be fair, I think with him too, I think chances are maybe none of the group and maybe not even Harry kind of suspects that anything is actually different about Nick. But they just like for them, like seeing him protecting Charlie is bad enough for them, because that's like, oh, you kind of you actively ally yourself with a gay kid, so that makes you kind of wrong by involvement too. Like for them, that is like their own twisted version of complacence. So yeah, but so yes, I think he's considering that. He's actively he was on his way to say that they should probably break up before the announcement came in that Tao and Harry were having a bit of a tussle and everything. So yeah, so hopefully the finale doesn't have him going through with that. Hopefully the finale does not have him going through with that kind of a decision. Hopefully he actually does agree to continue things with Nick and actually work on stuff and just kind of like just focus on getting themselves out of there once the years are over. I mean, Nick's in year 11. Nick's in year 11. So I think once he finishes that, he's out of there. So unless the place has a sixth form, in which case he might stay there, because probably just to stay with Charlie. Otherwise he might go to a college or something. So then, yeah. But yeah, and I guess we'll see. I guess we'll have to wait and see. So then that'll happen, and then of course Charlie has to sort things out with Tao as well, and then just kind of sort out the rest of their friend group and everything. So yeah, god damn it, this is gonna be a busy finale. This is gonna be a really busy finale. But yeah, that is pretty much all I got. That is all I got from this. I did not prepare for this at all. I did not prepare for this episode at all, so that kind of hit me like quite a bit, like quite a few bricks. So yeah, that was Heartstopper Season 1, Episode 5. So thank you guys, as always, so much for being here and for watching this video. If in some way you guys, if you guys enjoyed the reaction, then of course, leave a like and everything, and then comment on what you thought of the episode and what affected you and what you thought of it and how you managed to process this episode and all that kind of stuff. And hope you're okay. Hope you're all doing okay after this, and hope nothing was too kind of triggering or nothing got to you too much. But if it is, comments are open, and this is an absolutely kind of safe space and everything. So rest assured, this channel is open and everything. So yeah, so that's that. And then of course, if you're interested, the full-length reaction of the episode over on Patreon, so you can go check that over there. And yeah, that is it for now. So until the next time, bye bye for now.